Leora Rozner. I also go by Luz. I'm a visual multimedia artist. I'm coming from a background as a muralist, which I've done for several years prior to coming back to Pittsburgh a year and a half ago. I tend to do like a lot of social services, community-oriented work, and I'm really big in the organizing community and queer, radical Jewish anarchists, and which is really important to me, especially in these times. I think the need or the sort of pull to speak out came from my Jewish background, and of course, like the Pesach, the Passover story, like extending hospitality to our neighbors, like no matter where they come from. And my father, the way he interacted with people and the extent of kindness there, and my grandparents like used to have like Shabbat dinners, or they'd bring in a lot of people of different backgrounds, and I don't really know. I just feel like I was just came into being with these feelings and always had a strong orientation towards humanity and towards like the natural world. When I was in high school, I started to get more into organizing, especially like sort of eventually shifted into like Jewish organizing and like the movement for a free Palestine. That's kind of like going into like what I ended up doing for like almost 5 years in Palestine was supporting a grassroots Palestinian initiative to utilize artist resistance as they long have, as many movements have. There I really saw the power of art, and it provided like I think an outlet for a lot of youth that rightfully had a lot of frustration about the situation in which they were living. My process tends to be like I think about things a lot. I tend to read a lot or find things that inspire me. When you're working as a muralist, like for community projects, which is amazing for several years, it kind of like is a different thing when you're just yourself as an artist, like trying to figure out what you want to do, what your voice is as yourself. For my personal artwork, it's been turning towards ritual as resistance, so utilizing imagery expressive of a Jewish ritual. This project is kind of like exploring amulets in Jewish tradition. I have seen it as something that's been taken up in a lot of rad queer Jewish spaces and something like I've been interested in. Basically, I'm trying to like conjure the good energies to protect us and each other, exploring the idea or the concept of the seraphim, which are like these between heavenly and earthly apparitions, beings. So I think I'm still trying to understand how I'm relating to this concept of seraphim and how they're relating to the amulets or this like protective presence. I love dance and like movement and performance, and so I think that influences my work a lot, and like how that comes about in different cultures as well. I'm also really into like linguistics, and I think I love learning languages, and I'm always trying to learn more about other languages. As a Jewish person, like I have these different languages I can tap into, and it's also interesting that they all use the same aleph bet. Something just drew me to make these amulets, and not just like a Hebrew prayer, but like why not also like a Yiddish intention. Like for example, like this one says zu gesund, zu leben, zu mazel, which means to health, to life, to fortune. It made sense to intermix like them and not just use only one, because like the ancestors were using all of them. I'm coming to First Friday Friday a lot, and I love seeing other people's work. Like, I'm kind of like, oh man, I wish I was like going around, but it's also cool to be here and like talk to people. Yeah, it's been interesting to like try to describe it, like what, like, I have my own ideas about what I was trying to create, but it's really cool for me when people ascribe their own meanings and can relate to it in their own ways. These paintings were an attempt to create like a larger piece, but it's like sort of a mosaic of littler pieces that speak to each other and interact with each other. With this, I was also thinking if there's like all these little pieces of this greater whole, maybe that's like be part of this mosaic. Like we all are, like the universe is, I guess. I think that's what we're here for, is to like skills share and share knowledge.